Hello everyone, my name is Alexis and welcome to class today. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to begin in a comfortable seated position. So I'm cross-legged on my mat. If you want to use a block to prop yourself up, do it. If you want to sit in Virasana, hero pose, do it. You do you. Find a comfortable seat where you can sit with a straight spine for a couple of minutes. We're going to start by coming into a mudra. If you aren't familiar with mudras, they're just hand gestures in yoga. Bring your hands to prayer and then pivot your hands so your fingers are facing your elbows. And then slide your fingers so they clasp one another. This mudra is Ganesha Mudra. This is one of my favorites. And you're just going to rest it down, relax your shoulders, and just rest it wherever is comfortable. I'm kind of resting it against my ribs here. This is the mudra that we're going to be working with today, because the theme of this class is centered around a piece of inspiration I heard about from plants, particularly acorns. And the very general quote goes like this: a little acorn doesn't attempt to manifest itself into an oak tree. It simply becomes an oak tree. I'm going to say that again. A little acorn doesn't attempt to manifest itself into an oak tree. It simply becomes one. What I love about this illustration, what I love about this idea, is it speaks to how we are created or born with our purpose, with our intention already built into us. Who we become, if we truly listen to ourselves, if we're able to get past the noise of outer influences and societal pressures, is already within us. It's not something we have to manifest or intentions or set goals to try and get to. Who we are is already built into us. It's already designed into us. An acorn is going to become an oak tree no matter what. If it has the right conditions to flourish, it's going to become an oak tree. And it doesn't matter if it has other plants around it telling it that it should become a pine tree or a fir tree or a walnut tree. An acorn is going to become an oak tree because it's an acorn. I think there's power in this illustration because so often we can get distracted and pressured by the people around us, the religions that we grew up with, what we were told and taught in school, what the expectations of our families are, what our friends think of us, and even sometimes the pressures we put on ourselves to be perfectionists or completists or to never quit. Those things are admirable in some circumstances, but not always beneficial to us. Oftentimes, those are the things that can prevent us from actually becoming who we are. So today, this class is about journeying deep into yourself to find that inner acorn that's going to become an oak tree that you already are. We're going to be working with the mantra as well, and today's mantra is I honor my dreams and my desires. I honor my dreams and desires. So often, the things that we desire for ourselves, the deepest dreams that we have, are frowned upon or shot down. We're told we can be more impressive. We're expected to make money or have a fancy title or achieve certain things. And those things can be good. They can be part of our story. A beautiful thing about plants is so many plants are symbiotic. Ivy grows on other trees, and there's a symbiotic relationship there that helps both of them foster. But the tree isn't the ivy. The ivy is simply growing on the tree. It's an addition that is a benefit. But that tree is still itself. That tree is still the tree it was intended to be when it was a little seed or a little acorn. It didn't have to add the ivy to become worthy. It simply was worthy because it's a tree. And that same idea applies to us. Throughout this class, we're going to be working our way up to shoulder stand and plow pose. as a way of honoring our inner truth and our inner selves, the little acorn within us that is going to become an oak tree and can become an oak tree without us even really having to try. So take a couple more deep breaths. Release your hands onto your lap. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. We're going to begin gentle with just a couple seated neck stretches. So you can close your eyes for this if you want to, but we're just going to drop your chin into your chest. Breathe into the back of the neck and feel your spine start to lengthen and expand. We're not pushing here. You're just using the weight of gravity and the weight of your head to feel a very gentle stretch. We never want to force with our neck. From here, rock your right ear over towards your right shoulder. You're not trying to reach that ear towards your shoulder. You're just sort of going in that general direction so you get a nice stretch on the left side of the neck. If you want a little bit more sensation, you can walk the left fingers out away from you. This might lengthen the stretch from the ear down to the upper arm. And if you want even more of a sensation, you can bring the right hand up over to the left ear and gently pull the left ear away from the shoulder. You're not pushing down on your head. You're not trying to push that right ear closer to the shoulder. You're just gently pulling away from the left shoulder. Keep your head where it is. Bring your hands back into your lap and just gently drop your chin into the chest and roll right over to the other side, left ear towards left shoulder. Same thing, relax your shoulders away from your ears. You're just going in the general direction of that left ear. Feel the sensation on the right side of your neck, and if you want a little bit more, walk the right fingers out away from your hip. Breathe into it. Rest in the feeling. And then again, if you want to up-level the sensation just a little bit, reach that left arm up and over to that ear, that right ear, and gently pull it away from your shoulder. And breathe. And again, you're not pushing, you're not forcing, you're just very gently manipulating the movement that already exists within your neck and your shoulders. Keep your head where it is. Bring your hands back into your lap. Drop your chin back into your chest, and then lift your chin and look all the way up to the ceiling. Feel the stretch in the front of your neck. Exhale, chin back into the chest. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. Exhale, chin into chest. Exhale, look up at the ceiling. Repeat that a couple more times, just getting a very gentle movement and expansion in the front of the neck. And then come back to a neutral spine. From here, hug your left heel into the groin and extend the right leg out long. Inhale, lift up nice and tall, and exhale, fold forward. It doesn't matter how wide open that right leg is. It just matters that it's comfortable. You're not going to overstrain yourself, and flex that right foot as much as you can. That's what really matters here. You're welcome to sway side to side here if that feels good. Sometimes getting a little motion in the hips can feel really nice. Beautiful. Press yourself up to a straight spine. Bring that left hand behind you and push your hips forward into Baby Wild Thing. Open up across the chest, get a nice side body stretch up that whole right side of the body. Lower yourself back down, and we're just going to come into a side bend to the right. Right hand comes to the mat, reach the left arm up and over. And come back to center. And we're just going to switch sides, do that all on the other side. So right heel into the chest, into the groin. Extend the left leg out long, sit up nice and tall, and fold forward. And again, you can sway side to side here. You can relax the chin into the chest, whatever feels good, but I want you to focus on keeping that left foot flexed, almost as if you could push your toes back to touch your face. Beautiful. Come up to a straight spine. Right hand comes behind you. Push into the feet and the knee and lift up into your baby wild thing, feeling a nice stretch all down the left side of your body and opening up across the torso. Lower back down. Bring that left hand down to the mat and stretch over to the left this time. Side body stretch, gluing that right hip down to the mat, really lengthening in the whole right side of the body. Come back to center, and we're going to come into full butterfly now that we've warmed up both sides of the body. Bring the soles of the feet together as close or as far away from the groin as is comfortable, and fold forward. Tuck your chin into your chest, and if you would like to, this is completely optional, so only do it if it feels good. You can bring your hands onto your thighs and gently push the knees towards the mat. But again, we're not forcing anything here. Only do it if it feels good. Like I said at the beginning, the acorn doesn't force itself into becoming an oak tree. It already simply is. So let's practice that idea of honoring where we are, honoring where we're at throughout the entirety of this yoga practice. Sometimes our dreams and desires come from outside influences. So let's honor the dreams and desires that we have within ourselves first. Come back up to center. Bring the knees together, and we're going to come into a seated, wide-legged forward fold. So extend the legs out long. They don't have to be as wide as mine. Just make sure it's comfortable and to your natural range of motion. Inhale up nice and tall, and then exhale forward. And again, you can sway side to side here if that feels good. The main thing I want you to focus on is really flexing through both feet to keep your legs super active. We're not in this stretch very long, so we're going to kind of make it count here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Beautiful. And then press yourself up to a straight spine. Bring the knees together and swivel around so you're a long ways on your mat. And we're going to come into boat pose. There's 3 different spots here. Toes on the mat, knees bent, lifting up through the chest. You can try lifting one leg, see how that feels. If that feels good, lift the other with the hands underneath the thighs. If that's feeling good, you can extend the arms out long. All of these are equally productive and equally valuable. They're all still going to work your core, so do whichever one feels good. Roll forward onto your hands and knees, and we're coming into tabletop pose. And like always, set yourself up for success. Hips over knees, shoulders over wrists, press the feet into the mat, press the hands into the mat, and suction the belly button back to the spine. And then begin to move in and out of your cat and cow pose. Inhaling to open the chest, exhaling to scoop the spine up to the ceiling. Make this feel good. You don't need to go into your deepest stretches here, but match your movement to your breath and almost allow it to feel juicy. Allow it an opportunity. Allow it to be an opportunity that lets you feel into your body and feel into how you're feeling today. How does your body feel? How does your heart feel? How does your mind feel? Just a quick little check-in to see, where am I at today? Come back to a nice straight spine. And from here, we're just going to sink back into a wide-legged child's pose. On your next inhale, come up into cow, and then exhale round through the spine, sit back into child's pose. Inhale up into cow, look up towards the ceiling, and exhale, sit back into child's pose. You might need to move your arms a little bit, like I am, if you have longer limbs or shorter limbs. And just keep moving, keep flowing through this, just like your cat-cow. It's just a little addition to the cat-cow. Beautiful. Keep moving. Find a little bit of fluidity and flow here. We'll do one more, sitting back into child's pose. And then come back up to tabletop pose. From here, extend the right leg behind you and extend the left arm in front of you. Keep your core super engaged. Lower both limbs back down to the mat and extend the left leg behind you and right arm in front of you. These are our sunbird switches, and we're going to start moving through them. Right leg back, left arm forward, lower down, left leg back, Right arm forward, lower down. Keep switching opposite arm and opposite leg, keeping your core super engaged the whole time, lifting and lowering, and trying not to move your torso much side to side. We're gearing up our core, getting it nice and ready for the work that we're going to be doing in this class. This is one of the best moves you can do every day to strengthen your core. Beautiful. Keep going. You're almost there. All right, one more on each side. And after you do the last one, go ahead and extend that right leg behind you, left arm forward, and then bring the elbow and knee to touch. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch, knee to elbow. Extend, crunch, extend, crunch, extend, crunch. You're doing great. One more. Crunch, elbow to knee, extend, lower down. Then we'll just switch sides. Left leg behind, right arm forward, inhale, exhale, knee to elbow. Extend, knee to elbow. Extend out, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, exhale, crunch. Keep going, you're almost there. You're doing amazing. One more and crunch, extend, and lower everything down. Well done. Curl the back toes under, walk the hands forward a couple inches, and press up into your downward facing dog. Bend the knees a lot, really press through the hands, lengthen and straighten through the spine, and walk it out a little bit, bending one knee and then the other. Breathe nice and deep. And then begin to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into your forward fold. Maybe swaying side to side here if that feels good. And then bend the knees and gently roll yourself up to Tadasana. Inhale the arms down, around, and up overhead, and exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Walk the hands forward into downward facing dog, press through the hands, bend through the knees, bending one knee and then the other, and then walk the feet forward to the hands to come into forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, exhale, fold, bend the knees, roll up to standing, lift the arms overhead, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale the arms, down, around, and up overhead, exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, exhale, plant the hands and step back with the right leg, coming down into your low lunge with the left leg in front. Inhale, lift up the arms, and exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, straighten, exhale, cactus. Inhale, straighten, exhale, cactus. Keeping a nice deep bend in that front knee. Plant the hands on the mat, step the left foot back to meet the right, and press into your downward facing dog, bending into one knee and then the other. Step the right foot between the hands, coming up into your low lunge with the right leg in front. Inhale the arms up overhead and exhale, cactus the arms. Twice more, just like that. Inhaling to straighten, exhaling to cactus the arms. Once more, and then exhale the hands to the mat. Step the right foot back into downward facing dog and walk the hands back towards the feet to come into your forward fold at the back of the mat. Bend the knees, roll all the way up to standing, inhaling the arms up overhead, and exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward right away, walk the hands forward to come into your downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward to come into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, exhale, fold, and roll yourself up to standing, lifting the arms overhead and exhaling, hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to do all that on the other leg. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands on the mat. This time, step the left foot back, coming into low lunge with the right leg in front. Inhale the arms up overhead, and this time bring the right hand to your hip and bend over towards the right for a gentle side bend. Breathing in and out here. And come back to center, lift both arms up to the ceiling, and exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot back into downward facing dog. Bend through one knee and the other. And then lift the left leg forward, coming into low lunge with the left leg in front. Inhale the arms up overhead. And this time, left hand comes to the left hip, reach the right arm up and over for a side bend. Breathe nice and deep, let the hip sink forward here. Come back to center, both arms up. Exhale, plant the hands, step that left foot back into downward facing dog. Press into your hands, walk the hands back into your forward fold at the back of your mat. Bend the knees and roll all the way up to standing, bringing your hands to heart center. Close your eyes, and we're just going to stand here in Tadasana and reconnect with that mantra. I honor my dreams and desires. I honor my dreams and desires. I honor my dreams and desires. Who would you be without the external noise? Without expectations, pressures, outside opinions? Who would you be if the only voice you had to listen to when it came to yourself was your own? More often than not, when we ask ourselves this question, an answer immediately comes to mind. And very often we will also immediately start explaining why this self won't work. What are some of those reasons that you've maybe just listed to yourself as to why this person that you would be past anyone else's opinions and expectations and pressures? What are some of those things that block you from being that person? And it's okay if some of those things that block you are also important to you. Could be relationships with your parents, your friends, your partner. Part of life is learning to balance the relationships we have with other people and also honoring ourselves. Come back to that mantra. I honor my dreams and desires. I honor my dreams and desires. Come to the center of your mat, and we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So bring your feet parallel to the short edge of the mat, toes facing the long edge. Inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale, fold into your forward fold. Bring your hands wherever is comfortable, whether that's on the ankles or on the mat. If you have blocks, you're welcome to put them under your hands here. And just begin to sway side to side, very gentle sway. Let your spine be nice and loose. Maybe bend into one knee and then the other. Create a little bit of fluidity and motion here, just like we did in our down dog and our cat and cow pose. Then walk your hands over to the left foot, just to change up the stretch, get a different sensation. Breathe into where you feel the stretch. Then walk your hands over to the right. And if you can't reach your foot, that's okay. Just sort of go in the direction of your foot. Then from here, walk your hands back over to the left. Turn the left toes out so they're at a little bit of an angle. And we're going to come into Skandasana. Now you might be higher up. You might be able to come all the way down with your foot flat on the mat. If you want to block underneath your bum, grab it, use it. Or you might come up like I am with your heel off the mat. All of these options are okay. Meet yourself where you are. Doesn't matter where you are, but if you can, if you're in a stable enough position, maybe bring that left hand down to the mat and open the right arm up to the ceiling. If you're not in a spot to do this today, that is okay. Meet yourself where you are. If you can, though, it might feel nice to open up through the chest, look up to the ceiling, broaden across the chest. Breathe in and out. And come back, both hands in front of you if you are reaching up. Come back into your wide-legged forward fold. Rest, take a breath in the center just for a second. And then moving over to the right side, turn the right toes out and bend the knee and go down as far as is comfortable. You might be high up, you might be all the way down with your foot flat, you might be resting on a block, or you might be up with your heel lifted off the mat like I am. It's up to you. Find what works. And again, same thing here. If you're in a stable place and you want to, you can bring that right hand out on the mat, lift the left arm up, and open across the chest. Breathe nice and deep wherever you are. Doesn't matter where. You're just simply trying to find what feels good in this rather complicated, tricky pose. This doesn't feel supernatural for everybody. Bring your hands back to center. Press through the foot to come back into your forward fold. And then just breathe here. Maybe see if you can deepen the stretch just a little bit, if that feels good. I like to walk my hands back past my legs. I find that feels really great. You can rock forward and back on your feet. And then wherever you are, lift up halfway, bend the knees, and roll yourself all the way up to standing. And then from here, turn the heels in, toes out, and we're going to come into a little goddess squat series. So inhale the arms up overhead, coming into starfish, and then exhale, cactus the arms, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten, limbs out. Exhale, bend into your goddess squat. Keep going just like that, reaching up on the inhale, exhaling to squat. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, squat. A couple more, just like that. Inhaling and reaching, exhaling and squatting. Beautiful. Keep the arms active. Very nice. This time, sink down into your squat, and we're going to hold it just for a couple moments. See if you can get a little deeper. You can keep your arms in cactus, but if that's rough on your arms, you can just rest your hands on your thighs. Maybe sway side to side. Keep breathing. See if you can get a little deeper. If you need to stand up at any point, do so. And then from your squat, we're just going to do side bends, reaching over to the left and then the right, pivoting the arms, just adding a little bit of movement to our goddess squat here. You're almost done. If you've been holding it this whole time, kudos to you. Keep going, just a couple more. And come back up to starfish. Well done. We're coming to the front of the mat next. Inhale the arms down, around, and up overhead. And exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Bend into one knee and then the other. And then we're going to clasp the hands behind the back and reach the hands up to the ceiling just to get a nice stretch through the shoulders. This mimics our plow pose, where we're going to be headed in a couple minutes. And if it's hard for you to clasp your hands behind your back like this, that's okay. Just do your best. Opening up through the chest, bend the knees, and roll yourself up to Tadasana, keeping the hands clasped if you can, and give yourself a baby back bend, sending the hands down to the floor, towards the floor. Look up to the ceiling. From here, step the right foot back into Warrior One. You can keep the hands clasped behind you, or you can bring your hands to your hips like I did. Bend that left knee so it's directly over the left ankle. Right foot is planted behind you at a 30-degree angle. Clasp the hands behind you, look up, And exhale, fold forward into Humble Warrior. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, fold forward into Humble Warrior. Very nice. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift up, look up, and exhale, fold forward into Humble Warrior. And then just rest here for a moment in Humble Warrior. Hands reaching up to the ceiling, pressing through your feet to stabilize yourself. If you need to release your hands and put your hands on the mat, do so. Find your stability here. Accept yourself wherever you are. Come back up to center, hands to the hips, step the right foot forward, give everything a little shake, and then we'll step the left foot back and do the same thing on the other side. So right knee is nice and bent, left foot is planted back behind you at a nice 30-degree angle. This time clasp the hands the opposite way. This might be the weird feeling way. Inhale, look up to the ceiling, and exhale, fold forward into Humble Warrior. Inhale, lift up and look up. Exhale, fold forward into Humble Warrior. And last time. Lift up, open across the chest, and exhale, fold forward, Humble Warrior. Let your hands fall up towards the ceiling. Tuck your chin into your chest. Press through the feet to help stabilize you. And roll yourself back up, hands to the hips, step forward into Tadasana pose, and widen the feet as wide as the mat, heels on the mat, toes off the mat, and sink down into your yogi squat. Doesn't matter how low you go. If you want blocks underneath your bum to support you, that's great. If you can press the elbows into the thighs to help open up through the hips, do so. And just take a couple deep breaths here in your Malasana. You can kind of rock side to side if that feels good. Sometimes that can feel a little fun. Feel into it. Feel what feels good. Find what feels good. And then from here, we're going to pop back onto our mat into our boat pose. I popped right back into full boat, but if you need to sit down, come into partial boat, do so. You can keep your toes rested on the mat. You can have your hands behind your thighs. You can have your hands extended. Whatever feels good. Beautiful. Super short hold. From here, we're going to come to lie down. And this is where we're going to move into bridge and plow and shoulder stand. Now, if you haven't done these before, move slowly and maybe just stay in your bridge for today. If plow and shoulder stand isn't in your practice, just follow me into bridge. You'll bring your feet close to your bum, hands by your sides, and press into the heels to lift the bum off the mat. If you want, you can shimmy the shoulder blades underneath the shoulders and clasp the hands behind you, very similar to what we did in our forward fold. This is a great place to be, very challenging. Keep the knees together, nice and in line with the hips, and keep your gaze looking up. When we're in bridge or plow or shoulder stand, don't look from left to right. Just keep your gaze straight ahead, straight up. We don't want to injure the neck. Release the hands, lower yourself down into your bridge. If you are coming with me into plow and shoulder stand, if these are part of your practice, come back up to a seated position and fold over the top of your mat like I'm doing here. What this does is this helps create a little shelf for our shoulders and allow a little bit more space in the neck. So lie back down, line up the top of your shoulders with the top of that fold in your mat. And from here, we're going to start by coming into bridge again. Just press into the heels, lift the hips, and lower down. If you want to come into plow, I like to hug my knees into the chest and then use my core to lift my hips and then catch my hips and my bum with my hands. From here, let your feet fall back past your face. And it's okay here too if your knees are bent. Some people find that it's a lot more comfortable to bend the knees and have the knees by the ears with the feet a little closer to the face. This is a very intense stretch, so if you can't straighten your legs here, that's fine. Again, don't look to the left or the right. Keep your gaze straight up. And if you want to move with me into shoulder stand, bring the weight of your hips into your hands, bend at the knees, and lift the feet up to the ceiling. Now, a tricky thing with shoulder stand is we have a tendency to want to let our feet come closer to our face here because we feel like that's more stable. Press the feet a little bit further away from you, putting most of your weight into your hands and your elbows. Beautiful. wherever you are, bend the knees just a little bit to come back into plow, and then lower your hips to the mat with a lot of control, lowering one vertebrae at a time. And then if you were in plow and shoulder stand, lower the feet down to the mat. And if you were in bridge, lower yourself out of bridge. Adjust your mat however it needs to be if you folded it over, and come back to lie down on your mat. Hug the knees in the chest. And from here, we're going to come into happy baby. Pull the knees towards the chest. You can grab the calves to pull the knees towards the shoulders, or you can grab the outside of the feet. Wherever you are, you're gently pulling the knees towards the shoulders, creating space in the pelvis and in the hips. Breathe and just let your spine relax. Let your neck and throat relax. Plow and shoulder stand are tricky poses, so if you were able to get there today, let yourself be a little proud. Those are challenging postures. Hug your knees back into your chest. From here, we're going to come into banana pose. This is such a juicy, wonderful asana. You're going to walk your feet, you're going to extend your legs out long and walk your feet to the left corner of your mat. And then you're going to lift your shoulders and shimmy them also towards the left side of your mat. You can reach the arms up overhead, so you're making a banana shape with your body. I want you to keep that right hip glued to the mat, so you're not trying to lift that right hip off the mat. You're still keeping your hips grounded. You're just getting a nice stretch in the whole right side of the body. If you want to grab that right wrist with the left hand and gently pull it, you can. And if you want to cross the right leg over the left, you can do that as well. Close your eyes here and just enjoy this really delicious stretch. You did a lot of work. You did a lot of movement through your spine today. So let your body begin to percolate and process some of that work here in banana pose. Go ahead and release the arms back by your sides, uncross the legs if they were crossed, and shimmy the shoulders back to center and shimmy the legs back to center. And we'll just come into banana on the other side. So walk the feet over to the right, shimmy the shoulders over to the right. If you want, you can cross the left leg over the right ankle, and you can grab the left wrist with the right hand to gently deepen the stretch. Up to you, find what feels comfortable. Close your eyes and rest. Release the arms back by your sides, uncross the legs, and bring everything back to center. Let the feet rest as wide as the mat. Let your arms rest by your sides, and close your eyes for your Savasana. You did a lot of good hard work today, so I'm going to leave you in a nice long Savasana. Enjoy every second of it, and I will cue you out in just a couple of minutes. Begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Make circles with the wrists and the ankles. Do any movements that feel good, that bring you back into your physical body. Maybe reach the arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And then make your way up to a seated position. You can come through fetal pose if that feels good. I like to hug my knees into my chest and just rock up to a cross-legged position. We're going to come back into the same mudra that we started with, Ganesha Mudra. If you recall, we had our fingers clasped in front of us, but now I want you to switch the clasp. So whichever hand was closest to your chest at the beginning of class, just switch it so the other hand is now close. The reason I picked Ganesha Mudra for this class is, if you're not familiar, Ganesha is the elephant-headed god within Hindu mythology. Ganesha is known as the defeater of obstacles. Now, we still have to do the work, of course, but he's a good inspiration and a good energy to invite in when we're trying to find our way back to our true selves, find our way back to the acorn that's going to turn itself into an oak tree within us. The Ganesha Mudra can help us block out the noise and the pressure and the opinions that don't serve us, that don't make us more able to become who we truly are. So often it is hard to determine what we truly want and who we are, what we believe, what we think, what we know. Ganesha and this Ganesha Mudra can help us determine what works, what doesn't, whose opinions matter and whose don't, whose advice we should take and whose we shouldn't, when to trust ourselves and when to trust others. Within you, there is an acorn. It is a seed that will become an oak tree in time, and you don't have to do anything to become that oak tree. You will simply burst into bloom all on your own, without even having to try. So often in spiritual spaces, we talk about manifesting and intentions and becoming our highest selves. But the truth is, our highest selves already exist within us. We don't have to look very far to find them. The key comes from coming back into ourselves, figuring out what truly is within us, and being able to see and discern between what will help us find that oak tree within us and what is distraction. Repeat the mantra with me for the final times. I honor my dreams and my desires. I honor my dreams and my desires. I honor my dreams and my desires. Take a couple deep breaths in and out through the nose. Let yourself rest in this idea that you will become your own oak tree in time. Release the mantra and the mudra. Bring your hands to prayer at heart center and dip the chin into your chest. Feel the room around you. Bring your awareness back into your physical body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed this class. I loved making it for you and creating it. If you did like it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because that's how I know what kind of content you like and want to see more of. Don't forget to subscribe too. There is more yoga always coming your way every Thursday. And until next time, have a lovely rest of your day. I can't wait to see you again on the mat.